I'm going to say a few words about Puerto Rico, and then we'll open it up to questions on both subjects, on all subjects. Okay. So, a couple of hours ago, I spoke again with the governor of Puerto Rico as they and the U.S. Virgin Islands are recovering from significant damage after Hurricane Maria. It is impossible to overstate the seriousness of the situation on the island. I've never seen any disaster take a toll on an area in my whole lifetime like it has on this one. I asked the governor what was needed. His requests were clear. We are calling on the administration to immediately give Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands the assistance it needs. We are calling on the president to have all hands on deck and give Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands the help they need, and do it now. First, Puerto Rico needs additional security presence of at least 1,000 to 1,500 people. They need U.S. military disaster and humanitarian assistance to help maintain order and man the food and fuel. Because the island is so disrupted, they don't even have the personnel when they have food to get it to the people who need it. And the people can't get there half the time. Second, they need additional first responders and all available resources to help restore communications on the island. Many of the cell towers are down. Communications to so many people is remote and gone. Third, they need at least 200 generators right now. They need additional fuel. They need fuel trucks. They don't have any of that. All the overlying power lines, including the main trunk power lines that are above ground, were destroyed. The only people who have power are those who got their power from underground lines. And about the personnel, they are now bivouacking, helicoptering in certain medicines that people depend on. They have to fly them in from far away and then somehow get them to the people who need them. Fourth, they need hundreds of power workers to get the power back up and running. And fifth and lastly, but very importantly, FEMA and the Coast Guard need to get the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station, which is now also an airport, back up and running. They need a port. Our military and our Coast Guard know how to build temporary ports, because while planes can fly a certain amount of goods and food and medicine in, ships can do it much more effectively and efficiently, larger numbers. They need this Roosevelt Roads Naval Station. So they need to get these things done and get them now. Mr. President, these are American citizens. They desperately need our help. We need all hands on deck in every relevant federal agency to help, and help now. Okay, we're ready for your questions. Go ahead.
Well, they just walked out of their caucus and announced that they were not moving forward. I just walked out of mine, so I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I have been very clear and consistent. I'm ready to go. The minute they say he's okay to go.
I saw Senator Alexander in the gym this morning, and I told him, yes, I told him we wanted to move forward, that Senator Murray is eager to move forward because she talked to me about this, and he seemed open to it.
Senator Alexander last week said that the single hair plan, which was co-sponsored by 15 Democrats, doesn't avail, was counterproductive to the Murray-Alexander talks. Was that a tactical mistake, and do you support that plan?
Here's the bottom line. There are lots of good plans out there. Some Democrats support one, some Democrats support the other. I haven't co-sponsored any of them as of yet. However, there's a big difference between the two parties. Every Democratic plan wants to expand health care, help people, more people get better health care. Every Republican plan wants to cut back on health care. That's the difference between the parties that I hope will change now that this bill has been defeated. As for single payer, I think that was a straw man for them, a very unsuccessful one at that. And the debate showed it last night.
The president says that relief efforts aren't doing well. Wondering if that's your view.
I think relief efforts could do a whole lot better. I talked to the governor of Puerto Rico. They need so much, so much. And if we need to pass legislation, we passed Harvey relief within a week of Harvey hitting landfall. I hope we can do the same with Puerto Rico.
Leader Schumer.
I haven't looked at that yet, so I couldn't answer it.
Senator Schumer, Senator Tillis yesterday introduced a bill that he's calling a more conservative approach on DACA for the Dreamers. I was wondering if among Democrats there is discussion about supporting...
Well, we're glad that some new Republicans are supporting citizenship, but the bill has a lot of deficiencies, and Senator Durbin will be talking and meeting with Senator Tillis to discuss those.
Is the DREAM Act a red line for Democrats?
Look, we don't draw lines in the sand, but at the White House, the President said to Leader Pelosi and I that he would support the Durbin Graham bill.
Leader Schumer, thank you. What about the idea when we have Lindsey Graham and McConnell here and they say we'll come back to this after that? That doesn't sound like they are getting off of this idea of repeal and replace. And you have said repeatedly, once they die,
I think if they, the reason it failed is because the American people really didn't like it, not just marginally, but by a huge margin. If they go back to it, they're going to find the same situation, and they'll fail again. What are you talking about, Puerto Rico? I spoke to the governor of Puerto Rico. I asked him his 5 top needs. I've just told you them. We hope the administration can act on those now. I didn't get in. I asked him for, he's very busy. I asked him for his needs. These are things that have not been done yet. So they need them, and they need them now. As to what the fingers of blame are that they haven't been done yet, I don't know enough to comment. I'm not blaming. I'm beseeching for quick action. I didn't think when the president said yesterday, I think, in his tweet, that everything's going fine is correct. As for who's to blame, I don't know, but it is not going fine. Absolutely not. Patty?
If you go forward with Senator Alexander, we're turning into an election year this year. Is it getting progressively harder because of that? And groups are raising money off this issue right and left.
Let me speak to what we are focused on, which is market stabilization. We had 4 hearings, Republican and Democratic governors, insurance commissioners from both sides, and every one of them told us that making sure that the president made the payments that he can right now without any legislative action is the single most important thing to do over the next several years to stabilize the marketplace, which will reduce the premiums for everyone. So that has to, if the president is not going to do it, Congress has to act. The president can do that on his own right now and bring stability like today to that. But without that, that's part of it. Making sure that we look at several other provisions that allow this to move forward better in states are something else that we can do in the short term. So what Lamar and I are rightfully focused on right now is the short-term stability of the insurance marketplace so that premiums do not go up.
And Patty and Lamar are 2 good, terrific negotiators. I believe left to themselves, without anyone putting pressure on them not to do it, it can happen and happen quickly. Okay? Last one.
It seems like the Republicans are talking about an approach that uses low-interest loans, sort of talking about there's not really enough infrastructure to receive a big infusion of aid.
That's why they need personnel. They don't have the infrastructure now. That's why they're calling for actual personnel. They could be military personnel. They could be civilian FEMA personnel. They need a lot more personnel to carry out all the things that need to be done and done quickly. Low-interest loans are down the road. They need help now. Thank you.